dealt with an even worse snubbery yesterday, and that is Bam Adebayo was not a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year, and now we know that the Defensive Player of the Year, not surprisingly, because we knew how this narrative was going to get spun.
Soon as we heard somebody say Marcus Smart, yeah. Soon as I heard on the national broadcast, I'm like,
yeah.
Now, question.
He ends up winning Defensive Player of the Year last night.
I'll give everybody a pass if this happened. Because when you hear these things, right, you don't know if the voting is already complete.
No, the voting was complete. The voting has to be done by the end of the season.
Right. So when they started talking about Marcus Smart being Defensive Player of the Year, we didn't even know he was a finalist.
No, they only announced the finalists on Sunday, and then
no. But what I'm saying is that there had been talk all year about Bam, and in fact, he was the favorite.
Yep.
Okay.
He was the favorite 4 weeks ago.
Right. Marcus Smart even being mentioned only took place a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yep. No, he ran up on the final turn, and then all of a sudden everybody decided, hey, you know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't given it to a guard. We haven't given it to a guard since 1996. Did you guys know that? And then everybody's like, yeah, we haven't done that. We haven't done that. Let's do it. Let's give it to Marcus Smart because we need to give it to a guy for whatever stupid reason. And that's the thing that drives me the most nuts about NBA awards is like the entire thing has become narrative driven because they'll flip on it. It's never going to make sense. Like when they decide to do something, when they don't. Remember the year that Russell Westbrook won the MVP? How hyped everybody was for the triple-double? Ooh, yeah. Haven't had a triple-double since Oscar Robertson. Haven't had it. It's been amazing. We need to give it to Russ. And it's like, then the next year he's getting crushed for it. And he did the exact same thing.
Right.
They can't make up their minds. They just, well, I can't give it to LeBron this year. I got to give it to Derrick. I got to give the MVP to Derrick Rose because LeBron left. He left Cleveland high and dry. Can't give it to him. Got to give it to somebody else. And so this year, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they decide, oh, you know what? Defensive Player of the Year, it favors too heavily towards the bigs, not the guards. And it's like, all right, well, make a Defensive Guard of the Year then. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Like, hey, does anybody complain about that with MVP? Because I'm looking up and down.
Put him on all defensive team.
I'm looking at MVP right now, and I'm basically seeing three centers. I see Jokic, I see Embiid, and essentially Giannis Antetokounmpo is a center too. So, like, I look there, nobody seems to have an issue with it. Does anybody have an issue with? I think, when it comes to that we've leaned very heavily on the efficiency those guys can have, the scoring those guys can put up. Hey, listen. This is a crazy league where guys are getting bigger, stronger, faster. Crazy that the best players in the league, it's going to weigh towards the bigger players. And I just have a problem with Marcus Smart winning this award basically for a nonsense reason. I'm not saying Marcus Smart isn't a good defender, even though, Kyrie just dropped 40 on his head. I'm not saying that he's not a good defender, but the reason that he gets this is completely narrative-based. You have a Boston media that has a stranglehold on the votes between Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe and Chris Mannix and all these national pundits who are like, we're going to give it to Marcus Smart. And you're like, why? Whoa, you haven't had a guard. Even Mark Stein comes out, Mr. Sentiment. He goes, the first thing he says, so great Marcus Smart has won it. Haven't had a guard win it since 96. Huh? Did anybody know this fact? Did anybody really care? And is anybody going to care? Like, who's going to be sitting at Trivial Pursuit with Dan Day one time and is going to be sitting at a Duffy's and Dan Day is going to be like, all right, can you give me the last guard to win Defensive Player of the Year? Never come up. It's never come up. Yeah, am I upset because our guy Bam Adebayo gets snubbed? Of course I am. because Bam Adebayo is the best damn defender in this league. Nobody can guard like this guy can guard. Every single position. Not a couple of things where Marcus Smart ends up on a center and all of a sudden one guy flummoxes himself because he's on Hassan Whiteside. No. This guy will go and take out the best perimeter defender. Trae Young was pooping in his shorts anytime he saw Bam out of the corner of his eye. And then he'll have to go a game and guard Joel Embiid for the entire time. Every single minute. You tell me who can do that. Because it ain't Marcus Smart. It ain't. So the best player in every single series knows they have to go up against Bam, no matter their size. And by the way, he's not even like a big center. He's 6'9". He's LeBron size. And he's going out there and truly guarding the true center on the next team. They don't bring another big in to help him. And then he missed a third of the season. Get the hell out of here. Rudy Gobert, same amount of games the year he won his first Defensive Player of the Year, and then had a stranglehold on that award for the next half decade. So I don't want to hear it. I'm annoyed by it. And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that pisses me off about it with Boston coming in here and swooping in and basically gifting this guy an award. You want to tell me, Bam Adebayo, he missed a third of the season, or he missed this many, he only played 56 games? Let me ask you something then. When do we get to decide what part of the season matters? Because Boston no-showed for half the season. They were under 500 halfway through the season. So where was your DPOY then? Where was he with all these games he was playing? And a lot of people would argue he's not even the best defender on his own team. We're giving him the award? There's no doubt. Everybody knows who the guy is. On a team full of PJ Tucker, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, everybody knows who the top dog is defensively. It's Bam. That team, Robert Williams, Jaylen Brown. You think Marcus Smart's the best defender on that team? He's not.
No, it's Robert Williams.
He's not. Oh, and then somehow
I think if Robert Williams were playing at the end of the year, he would have got more votes than Marcus Smart.
So it's like Marcus Smart got best defender for 2 weeks.
Yep.
He got best defender
Agreed.
for 2 weeks, and the Heat lost, and Bam, who was the favorite, they go on a 4-game losing streak, and it's like, can't give it to Bam. Because Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra yelled at each other. Because that's the only national coverage the Miami Heat got. And this is the thing, Leroy. When you go at me, and I'm not mad at you, I'm just saying, when you go at me and you tell me things like, why do you care so much? Why do you care so much that the Heat don't get attention? Why do you care so much that they get disrespect? This is why. This is why. Because it's bullcrap that we spend all season talking about the Lakers, talking about the Knicks, talking about the Celtics, talking about the Sixers, and it takes Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra coming to fisticuffs for the Miami Heat to get any attention. Bam already served his punishment for being hurt this year. Bam should have been an all-star. He wasn't because he was hurt. Okay, that's your award punishment. But I'm not going to sit here and talk about the Celtics being one of the biggest disappointments in the league for half the year, and they get to have an award for having a good run for the last 2 weeks. That's garbage. And it got completely packaged by a bunch of podcasters and charlatan columnists. Oh, we haven't given a guard an award since 1990. Shut up. How about you have a guy who can guard literally everybody? You go ask Kyrie. Ask Kyrie 10 times out of 10 who he'd rather have on him at the end of a game. Let me ask you, Leroy, what do you think he would say? You think he'd rather have Bam on him, or you think he'd rather have Marcus Smart?
Marcus Smart, because he dropped 40.
Ask anybody in this league who they'd rather have on them. One-on-one. Marcus Smart or Bam Adebayo. They'll all tell you, give me Marcus Smart with his histrionics and his flopping and his getting kicked out of the game on purpose. Garbage. Completely stolen, fake award. All of these awards have become politics. All of them have become nothing but marketing and garbage.
Narrative based.
Boom! Let's hear from we'll hear a little bit from Bam on the other side. I went on a little bit of a tirade there. I'm sorry.
Hey, yeah,
I'm sorry. I blacked out.
we,
My bad.
And look, and for reasons I can't explain, can I ask, why does Leroy always get hit with the strays?
Well, I just wanted you to know, like, that's why it upsets me.
But no, with you, I don't mean you. When you have to say that, of course everybody thinks you're talking to me.
I'm still pissed. I mean, that's our guy too. You know, he was so disappointed yesterday.
I mean, at
the time when he spoke to reporters, he didn't even know about, or maybe he did. I don't know, but he didn't. The news hadn't come out of Marcus Smart when
But he wasn't even a finalist.
He wasn't even a finalist. I think that's what really pissed him off. Was like, I'm not even a finalist. And by the way, he got more first place votes than Rudy Gobert. Because it's done on a point system. It's stupid. It's done on a point system. So you get, I think it's 5-3 and 1 or some bull bleep like that. Right. So Rudy Gobert got a bigger point total, but Bam had more first place votes.
So probably Rudy Gobert was on everybody's ballot. Maybe not first or second, but he pointed him up. So he went the distance.
Exactly.
Just pointed him up. What happened. It was a boring fight. He Floyd Mayweather Bam.
Here is Bam after the game. Bam after the game. This is Bam after practice yesterday, which was pretty intense. I was boots on the ground yesterday. Very intense practice. They were doing one-on-ones with all the young guys afterwards, and it was kind of like everybody was surrounding them, like Jimmy Butler. PJ Tucker was like the hype man. He was like, get after it, young fella. Get after it.
I picture PJ Tucker being the hype man, right?
You know what? I this is like kind of the first time I've ever seen PJ Tucker in action. Like, as far as like everybody says how intense he is, but like, you haven't really gotten to see the crazy side of PJ Tucker. Saw yesterday, dude. I
have a question. Woo! How the hell you think a man get permanently hoarse?
That's a good point.
like when you talk to him just chilling and he go, oh, what's up? Like that man voice been through some trauma recently.
Dude, I had to like get rid of like half my Eric Spoelstra press conference because of just PJ Tucker yelling expletives in the background. I was like, wow, well, I can't use that sound. Tommy Tag's not gonna be able to play "Come on, mother bleeper" on the Heat pregame show. Here is Bam after practice yesterday, learning of the news he wasn't a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year.
Respectful, obviously. I feel like I can do anything that 2 out of the 3 can do. Besides, I can't teach height. But they all 3 play on TV more than me, so I would expect that. They get more TV games and they get more exposure. People like to talk about them more. Don't nobody want to talk about us. So just whatever at that point.
That said, do you think people also don't appreciate the nuance? That there's probably not definitive metrics other than maybe going deep into the metrics where you can just say, hey, X, Y, and Z, that what you do has to be seen to be appreciated.
Yeah. I feel like that's why a lot of dudes do get a lot of awards, in my opinion. They're always on TV, getting to just showcase their talent and, so happen to have good games.
There you go. Bam yesterday after practice.
It's true. It's true. I would say this, that I guess I'm as an athlete, right? You spend your whole life with everybody telling you, be professional, be a pro, do it this way. This is the right way to do it. Show, be humble, be this. And you hear this throughout your whole career. And now being on this side, I realize that these reporters, these television people, these journalists, these people that write for all these various publications, right? They mostly vote and write on sentiment and feelings and how that guy gave you access and what you see on a nightly basis and what everybody's talking about. Because I got to tell you, up until a month before the season ended, nobody even thought of Marcus Smart as a defensive player of the year. And here's what happened. They went on a hot run. They were on TV every night, right? Either Jaylen Brown or Tatum were out. He was the guy. They were still winning. And the exposure that he got, all of a sudden, everybody started talking about him. Now, I'm going to say this, and this is unequivocal, and this is 100% fact. I don't care who in the league Bam is guarding. I don't care who it is. He ain't scoring 40.
Nope.
That's a fact. He ain't scoring 40. I don't. If you put Bam on a guy, now it gets a little tricky because they do a lot of switching and Bam guards a bunch of different guys during the course of a game. But if I took Bam and put him on Kyrie ain't scoring 40.
Nope.
And if I can take a guy and put him in the same situation and he would do better, that makes him a better defensive player. It's simple as that. And for all these creative writers and journalists or whatever, all you have to ask yourself is this question. If I have two guys and I need a defensive stop, and I don't know who's going to have the ball on the court, do I want Marcus Smart chasing the ball or do I want Bam?
It's not even a question.
That's it.
And let me tell you something too.
I don't care who it is. I don't care who is on the court.
And let me tell you something that's crazy about him too. Let's just say he's got somebody out and he's switching to the top of the key and Kyrie has the ball and he's about to go lob that thing. This dude's so damn quick. He'll go recover, get back to the rim. Marcus Smart can't do that. He can't.
Marcus Smart is not what we consider a jumper.
Marcus Smart won a gimmick award.
Well, look, and here's what I'm gonna say.
Should put Bill Simmons. They should engrave Bill Simmons on the side of the award.
The only thing I hate about this is when you talk about your guy over another guy. I don't want people to think we are diminishing what Marcus Smart. We're not diminishing Marcus Smart winning the award. But I am saying that they gave the award to a guy who's not the best.
I'm diminishing
defender.
it. No, I am diminishing it. I'm telling you right now, he's not a better defender than Bam.
He didn't vote for
honestly,
him.
And the only
Whatever.
and
The only thing for him.
I don't care. The only thing that people can hold over Bam is that he missed 20 games with a thumb injury. But the thing that I find garbage about that is, first of all, he got a ton of first place votes, so it clearly didn't hurt people that much that he didn't play as many games. Rudy Gobert has won the award with that many times. And also, let's not act like the Celtics. Everything that they got was a second half run, which is like the craziest thing to me, that like it's defensive player of the year. And it's like, it's kind of just for 3 weeks though. Like it felt like Marcus Smart just got a 3-week campaign to get the award. So
but we do that with everything. Like when you vote for the Pro Bowl, when you vote for the All-Star game,
All-Star game is different though. All-Star game is a half season award. Like it's
right.
And Bam, his All-Star was cost because he was hurt. Okay.
Right.
It's an 82 game season. And for half of it, the Celtics were dilly-dallying around, doing nothing. And, so I almost look at that as equal to Bam Adebayo missing 20 games for a thumb injury. And then, by the way, he also had to play without his stars. So I don't want to hear, Tatum was out for a time. When Bam came back, Jimmy Butler was missing a ton of games. Kyle Lowry was missing a ton of games. He was carrying the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, there's no.
And by the way,
no
never a game where the Celtics looked to Marcus Smart to carry them offensively. Never. Bam had to do it for the Heat. Do both.